Hello and welcome to another day in paradise. Today I have a question for you. Are African continentals better suited for the environment, for the work environment, for the business environment, to be successful education-wise, business-wise, in the diaspora? Are they better mentally equipped? And vice versa. Is the diaspora, African diasporans, are they better equipped to deal with the problems that Africa has, to oust nepotism and greed, to spread the wealth to the rest of the people of Africa, being that Africa is the wealthiest continent on this planet? I mean, these are good questions. I asked myself this question before, but before I get into this, I want to say, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and click the bell notification. So you have African diasporans who have been brought up to believe that that things like nepotism and also blessings, as they would call it on the continent, paying people off, paying people extra to get jobs done. We've been brought up in the West to believe that this is wrong. But I would hazard to say that the majority of the world works in this way. Most of Eastern Europe works in this way. Russia, dare say, works in this way. The vast majority of Africa and Asia work in this way. I'm not sure about South America, but the most populous continents on this planet, most of the countries, most of the diplomats, most of the people that live in that country believe in that system, believe in the system of essentially giving that little bit extra to make sure that the work is done correctly and fast, and you get a better service. Tips, that's what we do, we give them tips. So, but it's been demonized in the West. Does it even need to be ousted in Africa? I think it does. I think it does. I think there's no room for it at the upper echelons of power. I don't think Nigeria needs to have the wealthiest, highest paid diplomats on the planet. I don't think they've done enough to warrant that sort of salary. So yeah, back to the question: are African diasporans better suited to change the environment in Africa for the greater good? And are African continentals who are moving into the diaspora, who are moving to the United States, who are moving to the UK, are they better adapted for that environment? Okay, so I say this for a number of reasons. You have a lot of African continentals who are moving to the United States of America. They're moving to the United Kingdom, and they have the uncanny ability to become successful. Okay, I have never met a down and out African Nigerian in the UK. All the Nigerians I know in the UK, right, have done well for themselves in the UK. Okay, they've become doctors, lawyers. They have really become successful, and so I asked myself, what are they doing that we Jamaicans are not doing, that we haven't been doing for the last 50 years? We've been here for much longer than that, actually. But what are they? What do they have? Do they have the right stuff? And I think there is significant differences in our culture to make me believe that they are more successful in the diaspora, in the United States certainly, than the foundational Americans of African ancestry and the foundational foundational British of African ancestry too. I think that they have something different. I think for one, they've been brought up in an environment where they don't have a choice. There's no way out other than education, and education gets you pretty far in the UK. So, and in the United States, it can open doors for you, of course. So, I think that's one thing. I think second thing, I don't know if you've seen this, but you've seen a lot of these shootings that have been happening in the United States, and I don't think any of them have involved the new African migrants that have just come to the United States. None of them involved there. And I think part of the reason why is because many of the African Continentals who are now moving to the United States, they don't move to the inner cities, which are heavily policed. They move to smaller towns in the middle of nowhere. They're moving to Missouri. They're moving to Kansas. They're moving to places where most people, especially foreigners, do not want to go to. And they're going there to live there. And they don't mind living around Europeans, American of European ancestry. They don't mind living around them. They keep to themselves. They don't pray and blame the European Americans about slavery. For them, you got to remember that it didn't happen to them. So they find it even difficult sometimes to empathize with us descendants of African slaves. So they don't have that extra luggage on their back either. So this is why I'm asking, should we swap? Should we just swap? Maybe it would be better. Because I genuinely believe that we're not the answer, us African diasporans. Moving back to Africa, that's just, it's just being cocky. We're not the answer. But I think we see the value, we see the beauty in Africa more so than your general African continental. I think diasporans see the potential, Africa's potential more. I think diasporans see, they see a future. And yeah, it can be argued that us diasporans, we can move to Africa, and if we don't like it, we can go back to where we came from, right? We can always go back to France. We can always go back to the Netherlands. We can always go back to the United States if we don't like it. But I think all in all, I think that the culture that we've been brought up in to believe that everybody deserves to have this good life, and that our continent can provide for the relatively small 1.3 billion in this huge continent, this relatively small population. The earth can provide for us. It can provide all the water, all the food, all the minerals that we've got. It can provide for each and every one of us to have an amazing life. And so I think a lot of, especially a lot of African diasporans, foundational African diasporans, who have been living in the West for many generations, are seeing a lot of they're seeing Ghanaians, they're seeing Nigerians doing everything they can to get across the channel, the English Channel, to get across into Greece, risking their lives to do so. Now that is perhaps more ignorant on the part of many African diasporans who are looking to return to Africa. But it scares a lot of African diasporans. A lot of African diasporans in the UK are looking at these African Continentals doing everything to come into the UK, and they're saying, well, we're in the right place then, you know. We'll help them try and get here. It's not what we need. So, yeah, I truly think that, of course, swapping is not going to be possible, but I believe that the movements in people now is having a positive. It's going to have a positive effect, because I think a lot of the African Continentals, they just have the right stuff to be successful in the United States and in Canada and in the UK, Western Europe. They just have it. They have that sort of mentality. It's even strange because us diasporans, we have the work ethic. We have it, but for some reason, we just don't seem to be having the same success that an African migrant who's just come into the United States has in the first 5 years there, when we've been living there all of our lives. So yeah, what do you think? Please leave a comment underneath. Let me know what you think. Should we swap? Okay. Well, thanks for listening, and stay tuned. I'm going to do another video soon. Have a good one and take care. Ta-ra a bit.